Beloved, this past week I found myself reflecting on the institution of marriage. I did so not from nostalgia or romantic idealism, but rather from a Christian perspective. The upshot is this: marriage remains relevant and divinely beautiful, despite an age that elevates autonomy, rewards convenience, and treats commitments as negotiable. It is when we fall into the trap of transactional love that we make marriage appear outdated, cumbersome, and even suspect. Marriage is then made out to be incompatible with modern values of self fulfillment and endless choice. Consequently, the question becomes not merely what is marriage, but why marry at all? I now set out reasons why marriage remains relevant and is divinely beautiful. First is the freedom found through fidelity, where our freedom is defined as faithful commitment and not in transient connections or promiscuity. Why should we consider marriage at all with its vulnerability, its apparent monotony, its pain? Because true freedom is not found in evasion, but in devotion. The person who commits discovers not the loss of self, but the unveiling of the true self. Fidelity refines us, it enlarges the soul. As the writer James Baldwin once reflected, to love is to learn humility, to learn that other people suffer, and to learn how to use your suffering and theirs to get from one place to another. Second is the transformative power of commitment, where marriage is a choice of persistence. Marriage is not sustained by perpetual feelings, but by repeated chosen faithfulness. To be for the other, especially when affection wanes, when silence replaces song, when illness interrupts ease, is the paradoxical strength of love. Love is at its highest when it perseveres in seasons that feel loveless. It is in these valleys that love becomes real. Third is the enduring sacredness of marriage. It is a covenant beyond convenience. Marriage is ordained of God. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. We read that in Mark 10, verse 9. Marriage is more than a legal status. It is a covenant to be honored and not merely a contract to be managed. Contracts protect, but a covenant transforms. It is not about convenience, but about mutual surrender. To love another person in this covenantal way is to enter sacred ground. Fourth is the divine purpose of marriage, where marriage is a reflection of God's covenant love. Not all are called to marriage, but for those who are, it is more than a personal lifestyle choice. It is a divine calling. Marriage mirrors God's covenant with his people, persistent, forgiving, undeserved, faithful. It becomes a school of grace where we learn to love, fail, forgive, and try again. It sanctifies us not by ease, but by giving and receiving mercy. Fifth is that marriage serves as a radical testimony in an apathetic age. So, is marriage still good in an age that no longer believes in forever after? Yes, precisely because it resists the cynicism of our times. Marriage declares that some things are worth keeping, worth suffering for, worth becoming. Two flawed souls bound together, stumbling toward love, they bear witness to a divine reality beyond convenience and consumption. In conclusion, we ought to marry not because it is easy, but because, like faith, marriage invites us to become what we were meant to be, lovers who are faithful, exercising faith that is loving. Stay blessed. Shabbat Shalom.